From the team behind Lords of the Fallen comes another homage to Dark Souls, and this one is almost as good as its inspiration. A game that combines both the feel of Matt Damon taking the Elysium with the robot fighting action of Titanfall. Of course, today we are reviewing the new hit game, The Surge. Now, I know, most of you are probably thinking, but The Surge isn't an indie game. Well, you got me there, but it's a game that's been on my wishlist for a long while now, and I've finally had a chance to experience it. The game already has very positive ratings on Steam, and I have to say I agree with most of these reviews. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed this game. My name is Remus and you are watching Indie Review. Installing this game can take a little bit of time if you have a slow internet connection, with all the game files totaling up to a brisk 15 gigabytes. I'd recommend if you do have a slow internet connection to let the game download overnight while at work or at school, so it'll be ready when you are. This game requires at least an AMD FX 8320 at 3.5 GHz, which is actually the same processor that I have, 8 GB of RAM and a 1 GB graphics card. When you load up this game for the first time with the minimum specs, it doesn't take very long, letting you get right into the game and right into the action. The story of this game follows a central main character, Warren, who after being confined to a wheelchair decided to sign up for a program by a company named Creo, an institution that turns people like Warren into able-bodied people to, quote, make the world a better place, end quote, and for the promise of a better life. But upon realizing the company's intent, the main character revolts and vows to take down this evil corporation, which is where the main player steps in, slicing his or her way through the leagues of zombified employees and robot slaves. The story weighs in at a monstrous 30 to 40 hours, providing days of thrilling and entertaining gameplay. Although at times the story is delivered in a way I was not fond of. Instead of cutscenes, most of the story is delivered in the midst of combat and can be hard to pay attention to. Although as long as your listening skills are better than that of a 2-year-old child, you should be fine. The gameplay is starkly similar to Dark Souls, showing an obvious link in the game's inspiration. For many veterans of the game, this fact may be more apparent than people who have never played, but overall it doesn't take away from the game's value. In the beginning of the game, you get to choose between being slow and strong or weak and fast, which is a plus in my book, because you get to further customize your unique playstyle. Now, I personally chose slow and strong because I like to be able to deal a lot of damage very quickly, but you can choose whichever you would like. The vibrant colors of this game are in perfect contrast with its dark and dreary message, and I feel the creators did a fantastic job of creating an atmosphere that is not only fun and enjoyable, but entertaining in ways that only a well put together game can achieve. In the game, you fight various enemies, all the while gaining XP and scrap, which can be used in the process of buying items in-game. But be careful, dying will cause you to lose all of the stuff you have worked so hard to obtain. The more resources you have, the higher your multiplier is and you collect more. This creates a higher risk factor when playing, heightens the exhilaration of success and the frustration of failure. Another quick addition, and one that mostly Dark Souls players will appreciate, is the fact that you can pause the game. Now this might not seem like much, but in games like Dark Souls, the game is always running, and you must have to make it to a bonfire before you can truly rest. In combat, you have the ability to target individual body parts of your foes, slowly crippling them. You can target weak spots or individual parts that you are trying to build, as they have a chance of dropping schematics for that part, and when they are weak enough, you can perform a Mortal Kombat-esque execution that dismembers your enemy. Character customization in this game is glorious, as you can expect to spend a lot of time in this section of the game. You were able to mix and match weapons and items to perfectly match your playstyle. The tutorial doesn't seem to hold your hand at all, letting you figure things out on your own, which is a plus in my book. The graphics in this game are very polished and spread across my Eyefinity display very well, without clipping or any noticeable terrain glitching. I'd have to say that the graphics in my opinion are one of the best parts of the game, and although they may not be as realistic as the newest and the greatest, the style at which the creators of this game went for was a massive win in my book, giving the player not only a fun game to play with an amazing story, but something pretty to look at along the way. Now for the pros of this game. 1. The game is very similar to Dark Souls. 2. The reviews on Steam are very positive, although the game is still very new. 3. The game has a very lengthy story, providing hours of fun. 4. The XP system feels very well done. And 5. It is available for almost all platforms. I had a hard time coming up with cons for this game as I enjoyed it so much, but I'll give it my best shot. 1. The boss battles can be very easy and anticlimactic. 2. The story can be hard to pay attention to amidst the heat of a battle. And 3. The executions can become repetitive and slightly unentertaining. In conclusion, I would rate this game an 8 out of 10 for its addicting gameplay and the fact that I was unable to put it down, which doesn't happen often. My name is Remus and this has been Indie Review. If you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and like for more. Until next time, see ya.